Hello and welcome to VOA's Red Carpet. My name is Jackson Vunganyi. On this episode of Red Carpet, we have a Nigerian makeup artist making waves on TikTok. Filmmaker Nick Gregorio speaks to us about his sci-fi thriller, and a Mozambican artist creates artwork for Swatch. Let's go! And let's begin with some art news. As part of its global art initiative, Swiss watchmaker Swatch has selected Mozambican artist Walter Zandamela to create an artistic canvas showcasing his country at Expo Dubai 2020. Let's check it out.
Walter Zandamela applied for the Swatch international competition when a friend recommended it to him. He thought getting accepted would be difficult, but not impossible.
I have a special thanks to a friend of mine, Amancio Miguel. He read about the competition on a newspaper and sent me the clip of it. He told me, "Walter, you should try. Let's see if it works." And I applied, but honestly, I never expected to apply for something this big in my life. But it was a true honor. It means representing Mozambique in a different environment, which is a very important brand when it comes to watches designs. A universal competition with everyone applying. And you from Mozambique, from a poor neighborhood in Maputo, you're applying. It was powerful and very emotional. It still moves me, and it's getting a great impact. You know, sometimes we think we're on the bottom rung, but we're not. In reality, this was an evaluation for us to see on what level we're at.
With Manning Hope, Walter wanted to send a special message for his fellow Mozambicans.
I wanted to play with words. First play with a word we have, which is maninge, that means much, and then hope. I wanted to mix both languages. But all of this is very profound for me. It has been like 40 years, ever since I was born. I can't remember a full year with no hardships in Mozambique, and that might have inspired me. There's always a hope, though, that one day maybe this country will sprout a never-ending happiness. I hope this country will be a very happy country, in fullness, with no interruptions, such as floods or wars. I wanted to show that this is a country that no matter how hard you're having it, how bad a person is suffering, she still smiles at you, showing you joy and hope. And I am also living this Swatch moment with a lot of joy.
Walter's Manning Hope has been showcased at the Dubai Expo 2020, and it's available at the Swatch website.
And in some more art news, Nigerian makeup artist turned TikTok sensation Oni Mary has wowed her audience with her skillful use of makeup to create faces of popular figures in Nigerian history. Her ability to draw lifelike images on her chest while facing a mirror has earned her over 7,000 followers with thousands of views for each post. Here is more on the story from Reuters. With a foundation and eyeliner, Nigerian makeup artist Oni Mary is painting faces of celebrities with notable icons on her body. The 23-year-old began training to become a professional makeup artist 2 years ago, but later discovered it was not her passion. To be unique, she began practicing with makeup tools while painting. With her body as canvas, the young artist made her first drawing of a male subject she found on television.
That fateful day, I was watching DSTV, I saw a particular man, and I just said, okay, let me just try with this man. Let me paint this man on my chest and see if I can really do this, because I love it and I have passion for it. So I took my brow pencil, my foundation and my brush, and I started painting the man. It came out nice.
On his first portrait was late American rapper Tupac, which garnered high popularity on social media platforms like Instagram and Facebook. And now, a TikTok sensation with name and Pella, the young artist wows her over 7,000 followers with portraits accompanied with music.
I don't get all my paintings at once, because sometimes whenever I start to paint and I get to the nose or the eyes and I'll feel like this person doesn't look like what I'm about to paint. So I'll clean it and start all over again. And most times I don't get to start all over again because of my energy. It depends on how full my energy is. And sometimes I'm lucky, sometimes I'm not lucky, which means sometimes whenever I start to paint, I'm lucky to get the paintings at once. Sometimes I can try 2 to 3 times before I can get the particular painting I want to paint.
As Oni built her brand and her expertise, she hopes to monetize her work in the future. And now to some fashion news. The fashion industry has always had a relationship with some forms of social activism, but all too often the industry is also seen as one of excess and consumerism gone wild. And that could change if New York's Fashion Sustainability and Social Accountability Act, or FSSAA, becomes law. Nina Vashneva has the story, narrated by Anne Rice.
This is the oven mitt jacket. This one was on display at a museum for a while, so it just came back.
She's so good at giving things a second and third life. It's no wonder Nicole McLaughlin has been nicknamed the upcycling sorceress.
This is all out of shoes, used shoes from a thrift store. It's very hard and kind of tactical, almost like an armor.
McLaughlin joined the fashion of sustainability bandwagon after working as a graphic designer at a large shoe corporation. She saw how much got thrown away. Huge amounts of fabric, buttons and zippers, thousands upon thousands of trial models. So McLaughlin started to save whatever she could and transform the salvaged pieces. Soon she was so captivated by the process, she decided to fully dedicate herself to sustainable fashion.
Sustainable fashion always was kind of on the back burner, and it was very small, and now it's kind of if you aren't really putting your money where your mouth is and investing in the future, these brands aren't going to be able to sustain.
They may be forced into sustainability if New York's Fashion Sustainability and Social Accountability Act becomes law. Introduced into the state legislature earlier this year, the measure would require fashion retailers and manufacturers to be accountable for their sustainability practices. They would need to make information about shipping, materials used, and employees' labor conditions transparent and public, no matter where production takes place. The Fashion Act will apply to large brands with sales of more than $100 million that do business in the state of New York. Violators could be fined up to 2% of their annual income, and the list of violators will be published by the New York Attorney General's office. Many designers support the initiative, Stella McCartney among them. Audrey Robinson is the sales supervisor at the Stella McCartney Soho boutique. She's proud to show the boutique's new sustainable collection.
It's been a miracle, to tell you the truth, to actually be able to have a skin-free skin made out of vegetable, out of a fungus, a vegetable, something from the earth, something natural. It's important.
The United Nations Environment Programme says the fashion industry is responsible for 10% of the world's carbon emissions. And not only that, but according to the Secondary Materials and Recycled Textiles Association, or SMART, almost all second-hand clothing and textiles can be recycled and reused, yet 80% end up in landfills. McLaughlin says that has to stop.
It's really important to be able to think about your childhood and your past and kind of use that as reference, but there's a lot of trash, and I think this is something that I would consider trash to treasure.
Treasure and a gift to efforts to slow climate change. What is still unclear is what effect the sustainability law will have on the price of clothing if it is enacted. For Nina Vashneva in New York, Anna Rice, VOA News.
After almost 2 years of a global pandemic, it's easy to forget life as it was pre-pandemic, from our relationships to our emotional connections and our sense of individuality. Will things be the same when life returns to normal? Hollywood writer-director Nick Gregorio explores the topic of life after the pandemic in his post-pandemic sci-fi thriller, Old Strangers.
The slopes are finally open. Come on up to the mountain and get some fresh air.
I'm so happy we're here and not in LA.
Ew. Hey, calm down. Stop squishing them.
The film is set against the backdrop of a post-lockdown world, with three friends trying to reconnect after a long quarantine and rekindle the spark of their youth. However, things take a dark turn when the friends stumble upon something strange in the wilderness. I spoke to Nick Gregorio about the difficulty of making a movie during the pandemic and how the story reflects on the current realities of the world.
Nothing.
Danny's been through a lot.
This movie was inspired by the pandemic, and it was working with a group of people that we had all worked together at a small studio here in Burbank, and COVID basically shut us down. We used to all work together on a show called DC Daily for the DC Universe platform for WB. Once everyone was on board, I was like, okay, I'm going to figure out the logistics. I got the script. I'm going to start casting, and we shot it less than a year ago, the first week of March. It was a 6-day shoot up in Big Bear. I followed the Hollywood standard protocols of you need at least a 36-hour negative test. So everyone that came up to Big Bear had a negative test. There were two cabins, the crew cabin and then the cast cabin. So we just bubbled up there and no one left.
And as we close the show, let's head to Tunisia in North Africa, where a women-only motorcycle club is breaking gender stereotypes by organizing rallies and events to encourage other women to ride. Let's take a look.
On a sunny day and alongside the sea in the Tunisian capital, 5 women ride their motorcycles in single file in what they say is a rare sight in their country. One of the members of the Queen Bikers Motorcycle Club, Khadija Husseini, said that over 300 women own a motorcycle driving license in Tunisia, but only a few practice the sport because they'd wish to ride with women rather than join men's riding groups.
There are more than 300 women who have a motorcycle driving license in Tunisia and do not practice this sport because they do not feel safe or because they don't find clubs that they can belong to. Because they do not want to drive with men and want an all-female group. So this is our goal, to establish a club for women only.
Tunisia's first female motocross champion, Shaima Ben Ammou, together with the Queen Bikers crew, hopes to encourage more women to join the sport, ride with them through the country, and participate in local and international rallies.
During the first round when I was riding, I looked back and wondered if I had become the first or if other riders were far ahead. I could not see them. That was my first rally in the city of Sfax. I was the first in the race, thank God. From then on, I knew myself and the abilities that I have. There are a lot of people who tell their daughters not to ride with me on a motorcycle, or to talk to me, or become my friend because I ride. There is a fear when they hear about a big motorcycle. They don't see it as a sport, but rather as a messy thing that does not fit into society. But there are also people who don't think that way.
The members of the club aim to challenge social stereotypes by trying to change the perception of women on motorcycles.
And with that, we come to the end of our show today. I want to thank you for hanging out with me. My name is Jackson Vunganyi. For more entertainment news, remember to check us out at voanews.com. We are also on all social media platforms. We are on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube, where you can watch our videos. Remember to share, subscribe, and like. Until next time, I'll catch you right here. Goodbye, everyone.